Ferrari and Sayeeda Warsi are with us for today's headlines. Hello.
Good morning, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Everyone happy?
Well, I just saw Nick, did you just take a swig out of a branded... Have you got your own global branded... I mean, that is unbelievable.
Oh, stop it.
There you go.
This guy, has he got Ferrari on the other side?
I'll bring you one. I'll bring you one on the bike.
That's where they need to go. They need to elevate it with Ferrari on it.
Yes.
I want a Ferrari.
Ferrari's
That's
cafe.
what I need. OK, we're starting with the story about Strictly Judge Shirley Ballas. And it's basically, she recently said in an interview that 99% of people don't like women to be successful. She was speaking at the Wimbledon Book Festival. Shirley said, everybody pretends to be your friend, but I found that 99.9% of people whom I deal with on a daily basis don't like to see women be successful. I am talking about even girlfriends and people you're close to. They come with their sarcastic remarks and their unhinged messages. I mean, is that true? I mean, it's quite strong views, isn't it? I mean, I'll come to you first, Nick. Do we hate to see women being successful?
I like Shirley Ballas, but she's talking a load of ballast here. Utter nonsense. Let's just think back. We've only just finished celebrating the successes of our fantastic Red Roses in the rugby and our Lionesses in the football. When the two presenters of the show she works on, Tess Daly and Claudia Winkleman, announced that they were standing down, that was almost like it set off a wave of national mourning, and they are all women. We've only just said farewell to one of the greatest writers we ever had in this country, Dame Jilly Cooper, who sadly died early this month. And we are a nation that celebrated not one, not two, but three female prime ministers, as Japan just gets its first one. So I like her, I respect her, I watch her on the telly, but this one, I think she's got totally wrong, Alison.
Well, the thing is, Shirley's basically describing high-achieving women, and it's mainly women in show business. I think that's where she's going from. And I always think to myself, it's not necessarily it's not show friends, it is show business.
Do you really think that?
When it comes to you, no, I don't, because we work quite closely
together. No, but like
together.
the people who work around here, like, you know, you've got good relationships with people.
Of course I've got good relationships, but not necessarily. Do we all go out drinking together? No, we don't do that.
Everyone's got busy lives. Do you know what I mean? They're just
I understand that, but I think she's talking in a world of showbiz. What do you think, Sayeeda?
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with kind of everything that Nick said, except for the fact I don't think we celebrated 3 female prime ministers. I'm not sure we celebrated the third one much. Nick, you or I, or anybody else for that matter, it didn't last very long. But I think in terms of women, I think, for example, in politics, I would say 99.9% of men or women probably don't want you to do very well, because it's actually a very dog-eat-dog world where everybody is vying for the next big job. But I think when it comes to women, it depends on the kind of tribe that you pick. And if your tribe is all from the world of work, then of course I think there's going to be a level of competition, because you're all trying to kind of make your mark in this world. But I've always been incredibly lucky, because my tribe of women, and, you know, I come from an all-female family, and one of 5 girls. I've grown up with this environment where it's always been women around me and women supporting other women. My tribe starts with girls that I went to school with, through to kind of ladies who I worked with, to people I've trained and have now gone on to have amazing careers, to some people in politics. And I think that as long as you keep that tribe wide and it's not just focused on your work life, then I think you will have much more support. But I can completely agree with you, Alison, that if you're in a world where it is showbiz and it is the business of getting on and it is the business of being, you know, kind of most successful in that space, of course there's going to be a little bit of animosity when people feel like, you know, somebody's getting ahead.
The difference is, I actually love when people do well. I love when people have success, but is that coming from a place...
person.
No, but I think, is it coming from a place where I'm all right, Jack?
No, because I think you've always been that person.
I think genuinely, I genuinely love when women thrive, when men thrive as well. I want people to do well in their lives, genuinely, but I mean...
See, I'm probably a little bit biased in that I genuinely love it when women do well. I don't celebrate it as much when men do well. And my husband brings that up all the time. He always says, if anybody ever rings you up and asks you to speak at an event, support an event, train somebody, mentor somebody, if it's a woman, you're right there. If it's a man, you kind of go, nah, maybe.
Do you think the odds are stacked against you if you're a woman?
And that's why I do it. Because I know the challenges that women go through to get to the top, and I know particularly the challenges that women of colour go through to get to the top. So I kind of think if you can be a helping hand and be part of the sisterhood that supports that, then do that. And I think men do all right.
What's...
She says, looking at... Nick and...
You are absolutely right. Men do all right. But what I would say, just to pick up on that, is that you're absolutely right. But the narrative that you need to tell young men is that you need to work very hard, be respectful to be successful. My worry is that the pendulum swings, and before you know it, toxicity gets in. And before you know it, the Andrew Tates of the world start speaking to those young men. And that's my worry is... that new generation that are coming up need to be spoken to almost like a level playing field. Now, the patriarchy, the system of the patriarchy is, slowly changing, right? Yeah. And it will get better. But at the moment, you're absolutely right to celebrate women because they are working against that system, whether that's childcare,
That's a really valid point. And actually, it is, you're absolutely right that, a lot of young men have huge challenges and kind of challenges that they face. I think I worked it from my own experience, and I think everybody brings to the table their own experience, and knowing the kind of battles that individually me and other women have had to fight, the first thing, your instinct is to turn around and say, well, if I can be a helping hand to another woman, I'm going to be trying to do that.
Sayeeda, what's it like when you first started in politics? Did it change a lot from when you started? In terms of how women were supported to when you left the House of Commons?
So much has changed. I mean, if you imagine when I first joined the Cabinet in 2010, I was one of, I think, 4 women and the only non-white member of that Cabinet. And if you look at where we've come now, both in the Conservative Party and the Labour Party, there's been so much change in how women have taken the top jobs. And, to see somebody like, for example, a woman of colour, to see somebody like Shabana Mahmood now as Home Secretary and to see Yvette Cooper as Foreign Secretary, these are huge moments, as they were within the Conservative Party as well.
Can I ask, did you feel like you were pushing against an open door for that, or a glass ceiling, or a little bit of both?
I think there were interesting things that I noticed in those early days. So, for example, around the Cabinet table, one of the things I always noticed was that if a woman spoke, she wasn't fully heard, but then if a man made the same point, then it was suddenly like it had become his idea.
Terrible, isn't it?
And so one of the things that I would do, one of the things that me and others would do is that if a woman kind of spoke, another woman would often speak behind her and say, "That's such a great idea, Alison," to make it clear that it was Alison's idea and it was a great idea before somebody else adopted it.
That's so good. But I disagree with it being 99.9%
Well,
people.
pretty much everyone.
Get a new tribe, Shirley. Get a new tribe.
She needs to come into our game.
To be successful.
Can I just say, I'm glad that I didn't grow up in the world of broadcasting or politics, because as one of my peers is Piers Morgan, I have a healthy loathing of all my peers, which includes Piers Morgan. So I loathe as many of them as I possibly can.
All right, next up, is it time for a female Bond? Rumours have been swirling that actress Sydney Sweeney may be in line for to be the next Bond girl.
What did you say? A female Bond?
Female Bond, yeah. Oh. Sydney Sweeney may be in line to be the next Bond girl. But Sydney said she'd rather take on the role of James Bond than playing his love interest as the iconic spy franchise. Nick?
Let's split this, I would say, Dermot. Let's develop a spy, but not even use James Bond. I'm sure she would be brilliant. Let's see her in all sorts of situations. Let's have a Jenny or whatever it might be, but not call her Bond. I do feel, and I know I'm a traditionalist, I do feel that the way the books were written, if we stay true to the original Ian Fleming novels, it kind of does have to be a bloke because of the extraordinary. And if your viewers now think to some of the films that they might have seen, if they haven't read the books, just think of the films. He gets involved in the most extraordinary physical altercations. And if you allow that the average man is not as strong as the average woman, I repeat, the average woman, I do think it has to be Jim for the job.
Also, so you think a new character should be created?
Yes, that's the way I would do it. Okay. Totally different. And I'd really support that.
Ham. Ali Ham.
Oh, that was very
Thank you so much. I mean, I was up there.
It was a moment, wasn't it?
Planning all that.
Yeah. Got
it. With the grams and everything.
On Hammond's Secret Service. On Hammond's Secret Service. There we go.
Exactly. What do you think?
Well, in the real world, as they would say, the SIS and MI5 have the most wonderful female agents in the field, and they would be properly kind of reflected in a Bond movie. But I suppose where I would slightly differ is that I can accept, look, you know, James Bond, fabulous character, been around forever, huge kind of books behind it. But has every James Bond been like Fleming's character? I don't think they have. Have they physically looked like, behaved like Fleming's character? I'm not sure they have. And so if we have been prepared to move in the past, you know, we've had romantic Bonds, we've had suave Bonds, we've had moody Bonds, we've had physically tough-looking Bonds, we've had, you know, more kind of slim-looking Bonds. So actually, could it be possible to have a Bond who was female?
I think it's possible to have
Emily Blunt.
I think it's possible to have a 007.
Yes, but not with the same name.
Not with the same name.
Yeah.
Because it's James Bond.
Exactly. Also, if you read, I've read a couple of the books, like, Bond's a bit of a dinosaur. If I was a woman actor, I wouldn't necessarily want to play James Bond. Like, he's not perfect at all.
He's a bit chauvinistic,
exactly,
isn't he?
yeah. But, of course, the job is up for grabs, and there was someone very close to my heart and not far away from here who I think could fit the bill. Never mind the Aston Martin. I want Ferrari. Nick Ferrari.
There we go.
Busted. There he is. Go on, give me the gun, Nick.
I haven't got anything. I don't know. The man with the white coffee cup. I'm afraid I haven't got a golden gun. I apologise.
You could be 008. Right, OK, moving on to the next story. Comedian Michael McIntyre has revealed his passive-aggressive means of getting back at noisy neighbours. He says that if his neighbours play loud music, he gets his revenge by playing the exact same song, but basically a few seconds in delay.
This is genius.
This is the way.
5 seconds later,
this is the way.
the people next door are hearing that song back up and going, oh, God, would he turn it down?
It's actually quite clever, actually. It's quite clever. What do you think of that? What do you make of that, Nick?
I think that's brilliant. I am blessed, I really am, with very, very lovely neighbours, and I have been for many years. But there is nothing more disconcerting, is it? Particularly if it might be the Sunday that you actually get a lie-in and that music starts. So it has happened to me at previous addresses. Fortunately, I'm at the moment. But as ever, I mean, Michael's idea is just brilliant, isn't it? So, because
Such
it would
a good
drive them
idea.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
It's very clever.
How do you get rid of your noisy neighbours? Do you have noisy neighbours?
We don't have noisy neighbours, actually. We're quite lucky that we don't have noisy neighbours. But I also think if you're going to be a noisy neighbour, the best way, and there have been times when we have been the noisy neighbours because we've had a party, I think it's just nice to go round beforehand, let them know what you're going to do. Well, I'm not sure if... love your neighbours, but I'm not sure you'd always invite them. But if it's a family thing, you know, if you thought you'd go around and let them know this is what we're doing, send them some food round, you know, give them a present, something like that. Just a little bit of kind of pre-notice helps.
Also, a little live and let live is nice, isn't it?
And you don't want to be in confrontation with your neighbours, eh, Nick? No. It's the worst feeling. Have you ever been, like, against your neighbours?
No,
never.
I've never allowed that. I'm just thinking, no, I've never allowed that. I think you're right, but yes, well, to use Dermot's word, we've gone from live and let die to live and let live. That's what we have to do with our neighbours, I think, don't we?
Yeah. Kill them with kindness, that's what I say.
Yes.
Kill them with kindness. Oh, that's the end of it. I can't believe we've finished the story.
Are you coming later, Nick? Are we getting you on a bike? Are you coming in?
Absolutely.
Go on, get on your bike now, Nick.
Yeah, I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
Play,
Right,
play the James Bond music. Go on, off you go.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.